Shalom, today is March 7th, and we are in 150 days of the war that started on October 7th between Israel and Hamas. Let's take an inside look to what Israelis are reading today in Iton Haaretz. Iton means newspaper. Hamas lo masar reshimat meshucharim, meaning Hamas did not submit a list of those kidnapped Israelis who they plan to release in the deal. V'atzevet ha'Israeli, the Israeli team, did not travel to Cairo in Egypt. That's where Hamas leaders are. Actually, some that are very closely related to Sinwar, the leader of Hamas in Gaza. So there's a blow-up in the hostage deal that they were hoping to have before Ramadan, the holy month of the Muslims. And Yediot Achronot, here we still see the Israeli flag as a symbol to the war. It reads, Haramatkal, Chief of Staff, says, Tzahal lo yabed et ha'al chiram. The IDF will not lose the general Chiram. Now, there's a big story about Chiram on October 7th as he fought in Kibbutz Be'eri, one of the hard-hit kibbutzes on October 7th. We'll get into more details of that inside as we open the newspaper. Next, B'tzal ne'erachim letachkirei milchama. The IDF, they're preparing for the investigations of the war, milchama. Ktinim, officers, Ktinim eluvim be'orchei din. Officers will be advised by lawyers, by you can call it the military law defense. It says Pirsum Rishon, this is first time published. Let's open up and read more details about these stories. But first, the main article in Yediot Achronot is this. Lifnei Ramadan, before the Ramadan, there's an explosion in the efforts to get a deal to exchange hostages for prisoners. Hamas is hardening its positions and is refusing to give the list of the live hostages that they're supposed to release in the upcoming deal. And also they're refusing to give the number of terrorists that are in the jails of Israel in exchange to each hostage. So Israel is refusing to send their own delegation to Cairo. They're saying this is not how we can continue into a deal. And Israeli sources are saying Sinwar just wants to flare up the area right now just before Ramadan. Hamas says, but if Israel receives our requirements, our demands, we can come into an agreement within 48 hours. And let's remember, what are Hamas's demands? It is to cease fire completely, to stop the war. It is to bring the Palestinians that have evacuated or fled their homes from the northern part of the Gaza Strip. It is to return them, to bring them back to their homes in the northern part, and to release all of the prisoners in Israel. And down here is a summary. They say that the White House officials say that Israel, in large, agreed to the discussions in Paris regarding this hostage exchange deal, hostages for prisoners, but Hamas refused, and they're continuing to refuse. The ball is again with Hamas, and it's a week before the deadline for this hostage deal, and still nothing from Hamas. So it's very disappointing, as we're all hoping that the hostages will be set free. Next reads that Haramatkal, the Chief of Staff, there he is, Herzi Halevi, says that Tzahal, meaning the IDF, will not lose Barak Hiram. Who is Barak Hiram? He's a controversial officer in the IDF because on October 7th he was fighting and he went to Kibbutz Be'eri, one of the hard-hit kibbutzes on that Black Saturday. And he decided to shoot a shell from a tank towards a house where terrorists were, but also terrorists were holding Israeli hostages in. And he decided to take down that house with the terrorists, perhaps with the hostages as well, knowing this, and he made that decision. He was at peace with that decision afterwards as he was interviewed, but many families and people were very much against it, and they criticized him very much and in public. So his name is a controversial name right now, but it says here that the Ramatkal, the Chief of Staff, is completely for him. And as Barak Hiram is supposed to go up in ranks and become a higher ranked officer even now, the Chief of Staff is for him, and he says the IDF will not lose him. Now, Barak Hiram's soldiers under his command say that he's a wonderful commander, very faithful soldier and officer, and they really hope he'll continue going up in the ranks of the IDF and not just go to the sidelines. So that's about that. And here we see sukariyot mishamayim. This is a different story. Candies from heaven. It's about the humanitarian aid, international aid being airdropped to the Gaza citizens that are hungry in Gaza. We see Skittles from the American forces, and we see other there are other foods and meals from the Jordanian military. And the IDF or Israel is for this. They're allowing this international humanitarian aid according to the US military. It's amazing how militaries can collaborate for the sake of citizens. We read down here about Dennis Yakimov. He was a soldier that died yesterday in the Gaza Strip. He's 33 years old from Beersheba. He has a daughter that says, "You were my best friend in this world. I love you very, very much. I wanted to see you, but I won't be able to, just in pictures. You were the best father in the world." And his friends said that he was a role model. His sister says that there is a story that a book that he was writing about his experience in the army. The soldiers say they all wanted to be part of that book. This book is not finished, and Diana, his sister, is going to publish it anyway, even though it's not complete. May his memory be blessed, and may his family and many more families in Israel with the pain find their peace with God. Lastly, here's a cartoon about Sinuau. We see him holding a yo-yo, and the word iska is on it, which means the deal, the hostage deal. So he's standing calmly, controlling the deal. This is where Israel is at. For more updates and stories, go to allisrael.com. Visit us on our social media, follow us, and like this video if you liked it. Please share All Israel News with your family and friends. This is Rotem Magen for All Israel News.